you know, you work for me for amount of time, right? And then in that amount of time, that's brotherhood right there. I had an example of that in my life. I was caught stealing from a store, and it was a brother, you know, and he actually got my very first job. I didn't want even stealing from him. They was gonna lock me up and send me to juvie.
Right.
So what happened was the brother took me up under his wing and gave me a job and everything. You know what I'm saying? He operated in Brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? That brother, he operated in Brotherhood. That was a small, that was, not according to all the law, because I wasn't even stealing from him. He talked me, talked the people out of it that they was gonna have me thrown in jail. He talked the people out of that, the white people out of it, and took me up under his wing and gave me my first job at a place called TT Burgers when I was like 12.
Right.
That was, that was brotherhood. And that was back in the day when we still had a little bit of that stuff left. We got to get the full thing. We got to get back full brotherhood. We got to get it back according to the Bible. All right, let's go back to chapter 22. Chapter 22, Exodus chapter 22 and verse 4. If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double. Now, if it's found alive, and say, he didn't sell it or chop it up and eat it or whatever, if it's found alive, then what he needs to do is he to restore just double for it in that case, because dude is getting his stuff back. So he get, with that, like if it's a sheep, he'll get another sheep, and that would be just double for that. But if it was killed and eaten, which was a point I should have brought out earlier, if it was killed and eaten or he sold it, then he's to give five oxen for one ox and 4 sheep for 1 sheep. What does this do? This stops thievery. And the people that are thieves because they in a certain situation where, they don't have any, money or anything like that, the brother that they stealing from is fitted to operate in brotherhood.
Right.
Verse 5. If a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field. Means if the man comes into the field, and then he puts his beast in to eat, right? Of the best of his own field and of the best of his own vineyard shall he make restitution. Because if this law is not put in place, guess what? Everybody will be able to bring their beast to whoever's field. If I don't respect this dude. He ain't about nothing. He got a nice little vineyard or whatever, and I'll just come in there and just eat and just put my ox in there, to eat also. And then everybody's doing that. Next thing you know, he ain't got nothing left.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody just came and just ate up everything that this dude had.
Right. Right.
Of the best of his own vineyard and of the best of his own, of the best of his own field, and of the best of his own vineyard shall he make restitution. Because what is he doing? He's putting his ox in the field to eat dude's grass, and he's eating the dude's, whatever he's produced in his vineyard. So he's to give of the best of his own to make restitution for that. If fire break out and catch in thorns, so that the stacks of corn or the standing corn or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindleth the fire shall surely make restitution, means he's to pay it back. Without that, people be setting people's fields and stuff on fire, and people will be angry, and next thing you know, they want to kill each other. Because he's like, well, dude set fire to my field. Now they got beef. They got bad beef with each other now. According to the law, what does he do? He goes to the judges. And the judges is thinking brotherhood. The judges will sit there and tell him, look, give this man back. Make restitution for what it is that you just burnt up. That thing that'll keep the nation straight. If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. So if things is found, he has to pay the double for whatever it is that was taken or whatever was, that he gave him. Is to be paid double. These laws is gonna have us. This is the stuff that's gonna have us so brotherly with one another. And once it gets ingrained into us real tough, the laws get ingrained to us real tough. We'll be the type of people that will just be so giving to one another. Because like I said, the law worketh death. You know what I'm saying? But once you pass through that, now you're just going into life. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it means to start to fulfill the law, like what Christ did. Now you don't pretty much went like Super Saiyan in your brotherliness.
Right. So
now, nobody has to tell you these things. Somebody found breaking up in your field, even, if he found, loosing your ox or your sheep or whatever, in the daytime, now you're thinking to yourself, this brother, I'm just saying, he starving. Even if he didn't sit there and take it, and chop up the ox and eat it or whatever, and you just caught him right in the midst of the act, you can just be like, look, brother, I'm going to go ahead and give you that. And not only that, I'm going to go ahead and give you more, flocks and herds. Who was your family? Who was your father? What happened, if you don't mind my asking, what happened that brought you in this situation, brother? You know what I'm saying? And what you do, you drop the truth on him. And he's reinstated, with the truth. It's just like if somebody was to steal, something, from us, to this day. We understand this brother, and he's a drug addict and stuff like that. He got a bad habit, In reality, what it wasn't even him that, a lot of times it wasn't even him that stole it.
Right.
It was the habit. I mean, I done been stole from people that I knew weren't really thieves, for real. I knew they wasn't really thieves. Because I knew them before they had the drug habit. And they would never own that.
Right.
It's just that habit just took them so strong that, they start doing things that they didn't do. And they were just so grieved behind what they did. You know what I'm saying? They were just so, they were just, damn near brought into tears behind what they did. Those men were not thieves. It was men and women, rather, because, it was women too. But they weren't really like that. But, understanding is like, man, this person, this person is just destroyed. But then when they get off of the drugs and stuff like that, guess what? They're not even stealing anymore. So what does that tell you? In that middle time, that wasn't really them. That wasn't them that was doing it. Those people didn't love the life of crime. Now, you have some people out there that actually do love the life of crime. They actually love it. Those people right there, you know what I'm saying, a lot of instances, their blood will be upon them, you know what I'm saying? Unless they learn not to love it. But that, that's just how, that thing, happens a lot of the time. You see people, you think, you see a crackhead out here, you swipe it down, he's been like that his whole life.
Right.
These were, man, a lot of these people were people that were actually decent people. They tried to be decent people. They just got caught up. They just got caught up in some stuff. He loved this broad, or this, this and that, or there's such and such a happened in, his or her life, and they turned to drugs.
Yeah, like that one brother who's coming into the truth, I.S.U.P.K and whatnot, but he was strung out a little bit, but you wouldn't even know he was a spelling bee champion when he was a kid.
Right. Things like that, and these were people where a lot of these people, I've known many of people like this also. And he was like, man, they just took a bad turn, and a lot of times it's all, and it's messed up because some people have a bad life, like a bad home life, and then they'll go and, try and do something good, but still end up getting caught up and end up, back into the way that people would perceive of the way that their life should have went.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, a lot of them come out of it, and you realize that just really wasn't them. That's why, one of the reasons, because back in the day, I used to, sell a little stuff, I was a little bit of a street pharmacist. But, that's why I never beat up dope fiends and stuff like what my peers was doing. I never did all of that. They would, see the dope fiend get them on $10, $20. They ready to beat him all up and, stuff like that. I never got into that. I had just a little bit of understanding, just a little bit, not too much on or nothing, but, I had a little bit of understanding. I'm like, damn, I was just so glad that I wasn't a dope fiend. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at them, I'm like, man, these people are, they just let me know the drugs and crack and stuff was just a bad boy, you know what I'm saying? It was just something else. And it just totally took control of them, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, women are doing stuff that they, wouldn't have done, otherwise, and, just bad like that, And if a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. If the thief be found out, let that man pay double what was stolen. Like somebody, somebody gave you money to keep, and then somebody kept it. I mean, somebody took it, stole it from you or whatever. Then that man's to be found. Once he went before the judges, for the law, before the saints, and not before the Gentiles or the heathens. Then that man is to pay double. Us being together as a nation is going to help us be brotherly towards one another. As long as we up under this beast called the white man, it's going to be a struggle.
Right.
It's going to be a serious struggle for that. It's going to be a fight. And the only warriors that you actually got in this fight is the I.S.U.P.K. No one else. Everybody else, they, love the ways of the heathen. All the fake Israelite groups and all that, they love the ways of the heathens. And they would much rather, what do they do? What does the purple group do? whenever they get into to a certain situation with other blacks, the first thing they do is go run to the police. What one of them saying? If you in my neighborhood and you got a warrant, I'm snitching. That's what he said out of his own mouth. And it's funny because that same tongue of judgment fell upon that same group.
Right.
And they the ones that's good. They the ones that's known for going to jail. Ain't that something? But they the ones that's most known for going to jail now. The Most High saw that and blew it back up on them. Because there's a scripture say, judge not, lest you be judged. For the same measure that you judge others, it should be measured unto you. And that's what happened to them. And now they can't even trust each other. They run around, they wired. Yeah. Like,
right. Just make sure you have to look all Christians like that. All Christians.
Cut. I was using them as an example because they're the ones that's in the, limelight about that.
God, we don't want to get on the big fish. You know what I'm saying? Christians.
If the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges to see whether he have put his hand unto his neighbor's goods. For all manner of trespass, whether it be ox, or ass, or sheep, for raiment, or for any manner of lost thing which another challengeth to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges. And whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor. Now that right there is going to start to keep brotherhood inside of a nation.
Right.
The law is the taskmaster, but we shouldn't do it just because of the punishment that comes behind not doing it. Because when you do it, when you do it just for the punishment, just because of the punishment that comes, if you don't, then it's not really genuine. But the thing about this is to move you into being genuine, because when you step into being genuine, that's when you're really going inside brotherhood right there. You're really going into brotherhood when it goes from that to being genuine. Now we're going to be powerful as a nation, and the heathens will not have no choice but to sit there and say, man, this, let me show you what they're going to say. I'm going to let the scriptures talk.
Right. We got 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Okay. Let's quickly talk about the wise and understanding people.
Oh, kind. I'm gonna look at that real quick.
I found it, Kevin.
Oh, Mosiah in Christ.
Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. They won't have no choice but to say that, even though they hate your guts.
Right.
They hate your guts, but they will have no choice to say this, because remember this, like what the Apostle Paul said. I'm paraphrasing. Said, "Have to, they will know that we the children of God by the way we love the brethren."
Right.
And that's one of the biggest fights here in America against us, is to stop us from loving one another. We done seen this our whole lives. I don't give a damn if you're 10 or 110. You've seen it.
Right.
They want to do what they can do to stop you from loving one another. That's the reason why white people say things like, well, I understand about slavery, but were you ever a slave? Pretty much saying, if you were never in the cotton fields yourself, then you should have no compassion or no feeling for what they felt inside the cotton field.
Right.
But when white people, you do something to them, oh man, all hell breaks loose. When O.J. Simpson killed Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman, guess what? It didn't happen to none of those white people, did it?
Right.
But at the same time, they were furious. And they can't stand the fact that we would actually love our own.
Right.
They don't,
right.
they don't wrap their minds around that, because when they see it, we're supposed to be such good slaves. We're supposed to be such good slaves that, and this is one thing, they get angry also because they believe that their slave tactics against us did not work good enough because we're not as selfish as they want us to be. Once they see a brother, just like the two little sisters, I always use this example. They were like in elementary school, and they both of them had asthma. And the one little sister, one was having an asthma attack. She didn't bring her inhaler. And the other sister went and got her inhaler and gave it to her and saved her life. They expelled those two girls, both of them. That's how hardcore they are against us operating in brotherhood.
Right.
That's how hardcore they are against it. So what we got to do is we got to fight even harder back. We got to fight even harder back. We got to love one another aggressively. Because if we're not doing it aggressively, we're not going to do it at all.
Right.
The Christian church, they don't love it. They talk about it, and sometimes they thought that they were actually loving, but they weren't aggressive, you know what I'm saying, and angry with it, because, you love, it's going to cause you to be angry.
And if I could, Christians got all the love in the world for the white man, but as far as black people, little bit.
Right, we get the scraps.
Right.
We get the scraps of love. And that's another thing that I want to bring out too. I'm glad you mentioned that, Cap. Because even if we mess up even in business. I know this is going to make some people mad. But we in a business, right? I don't care what kind of business it is. We should charge other races more than what we charge our own.
Right.
Boy, I know that's going, you know what I'm saying? That's going to ruffle some Christian feathers right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And fake Israelite feathers, because they don't want to do that. First thing is, oh, no, you just, niggas think they deserve preferential treatment. Niggas think that they, that's what, now you'll get to see what they really feel about you for real when they start to respond like that.
Right.
That's how you can sit there and tell, with a business owner, you talking to a business owner, you can tell whether he really, you can start to feel out whether he hates black people or not. You just tell him something like that. I mean, he might, even if he loves black people, he might ponder on it at first because he never heard that before. But when he hates black people, he's gonna get mad at you for even saying that. You mean to tell me that I'm supposed to, give this, preferential treatment, and I'm supposed to? Well, everybody else does that because they love their people. If you claim to love yours, why aren't you doing the same?
Right.
It's funny because when we claim to love everybody, we'll love their people. Our love will go to another race. When they claim to love everybody, their love will go to their own.
Right.
Operating in order, operating naturally, like a person's supposed to operate. If that's the case, a person don't believe he's supposed to love his race first. Then, well, if that's the case, why don't he pay somebody else's rent then?
Right.
Why don't he work his job and just pay somebody else's rent and neglect his own rent with his kids and everything, and just go and just pay his next door neighbor dude's rent?
All right.
It don't make sense to them then. You know what I'm saying? But, make sure that their kids go to school. Put their kids through college.
Right. And then when you make it bigger as a part of the nation, they don't understand it, or they act like they don't.
Right. They act like they don't understand that at all. But at the same time, they'll feign themselves as being so smart and so intelligent and knowing so much, and being so educated. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They'll do that, but they don't even know the first damn thing about it, because you got foreigners that come to this country that ain't spent a day inside of American school, but at the same time get more advantage points over us. Why is that?
Right.
Because America has respect for them because they know that they're about their own. People respect you when you like that. They hate your guts. You know what I'm saying? But respect from other nations is more valuable than love from other nations. You got to force respect upon people. Your enemies, you have to force your enemies to respect you.
Right.
It's not, they just don't decide one day, I'm just going to respect them. That's not how things work. Now, we're supposed to give respect to one another. Just like they would give, a man respect among their own, because that's how their nation stays together. The same thing with ours. But when it comes to another nation, that thing, that respect factor has to be forced. That's the reason why it's done took the white man so long to declare all-out war against the Middle East. The white man's been trying to have, he's been, trying to jockey for position in wars and everything with the Arabs since what? With the 80s or something?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But at the same time, he's never completely took them over. He done inched his way in with certain things, but they fought back, They fought back, and they didn't even have to do it a lot of the times with the gun. They keep their family structures together. They don't allow their sons to be gay. You see a gay Arab, he's somewhere running around in America. Ostracized. You know what I'm saying? He's ostracized. He want to run around with the rainbow on and all that. He's ostracized. He's damn near like he ain't even got a race for real. He's just like this, I don't know what you call it, like this raceless dude running around.
Right.
Or a woman over there that wants to be a lesbian, and she wants to be a whore. She wants to screw around, with black dudes and all of that. They're not playing that. They're, bam, you want to go. It's funny because when the Vietnamese, they had a lot of Vietnamese come to America, the big influx after the Vietnam War, because the white man went over and screwed everything. They took all the half-breeded children that were fathered by Americans and by, and put them all over in America. You know what I'm saying? Either other Ammonites and Moabites, their children came that's why the majority of them, not all of them, the majority of them were mixed. They had Japanese fathers. French fathers, damn American fathers. You know, all different types of black. There's a lot of them. Some of them have black fathers. Well, it's actually Israelites. Had black fathers come from the Americas, Hispanic fathers, and they took all of them and swooped them over here. You know what I'm saying? Because they actually care about their people. But you know what? Through the I.S.U.P.K, we're gonna care about ours. We're gonna care about our people.
That's the time. You just end it straight up.
Okay. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, coming out of 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York, at the commanding GEN.YAHANNA. Pay your tithes, pay your offerings, support this truth, support the men that are out there battling for you. We're battling to gather this nation together and operate in brotherhood, because brotherhood is going to be the glue that binds this nation together. And with that being said, Shalom.
In fact, we got time to do the prayers. Let's do the prayers. Should be in his desk right now.
Majum, upon the Hakidam means rise and face the east. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Quadash.
Qudash. Hayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakuvka. Taba'ah. Ratazaka. Hayah. I.S.U.P.K. Baharataza. Kawa. Hayah. Bashamayim. Thanlanawa. Lakam. Kal. Yawam. That's a lock now. Kabawathi now. That's a lock now. Kabawathi now. Wala'ah. Yabiyah now. Banasai 1. Abo. I was shy now. Mayan. Rai. Kaya. Laka. Amalakwa. Wa'ala. Watapara. Awalamium. Aman. Our Father,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us of our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. Yahweh. Ba'ashim Yahushua. Baba Kasha. The thunder now. Aka. La'pa'ah. Kal Makala. Wakal Marawa. Haka. Latahar. Amatazariah. Haka. Lahakwim. Hamathia. Haka. Arakawath. Atama'ala. The Garshan. Ba'ashim Yahushua. The water Aman. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power. Power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahushua. Wa Mayaka Allah. Wa Lahayim. Matazaba'ah. Alawap Yohanna. Halawapim. Hasarayanya. Akatazayanya. Akayayalia. Wa Akwati. Yahweh. Ba'ashim Yahushua. Tuwara. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahushua. And Michael. And the angels. Commander GEN.YAHANNA. The generals. The
captains,
officers, troopers,
and the sisters.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you. So be it.
Yabaraka. Yahweh. Washmarka. Yahar. Yahweh. Panyawa. Ayaka. Wayakanka. Asha'a. Yahweh. Panyawa. Ayaka. Wayasham. Laka. Shalom. Yahweh. Bashim Yahushua. Barak. Rapah. Magun. Agun. The Thurman family. Sutton family. The Hill family. All destroyed of Israel. Done. The Puckett family. Hall family. The Hayes family. The Todd family.
And all
destroyed of Israel.
Done. By Hashem
Yahushua.
the water Amah.
Yahweh.
Bless thee and keep thee.
Yahweh.
Make his face shine upon thee.
And be
gracious unto thee.
Yahweh.
Lift up his countenance upon thee.
And
give thee peace.
Yahweh.
In the name of
Yahushua.
Bless.
Heal. Shield. Protect.
Names of the loved ones we just named. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed art you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth. And all things living.
Yahweh.
In the name of
Yahushua.
Listen to us now. Right now. Send evils and curses. And punishment, destruction. And death. To the heathen. That speak against us. Thy prophets. The teachers. The princes. The priests. Israelite brothers in the school. Send evils and curses. And punishment, destruction. And death. To the heathen. And shake loose the pockets. Of the rich of Israel. That refuse to give to the school. Force their riches. To enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses. And punishment, destruction. And death to the Edomites. And the nations. And their drug dealers. The court system. Prison system. Planned Parenthood. All the governments of our enemies. Amalek, synagogues, and army. Roman Catholic Church. The Pope. Islam. Christianity. Egyptology. Militia. Ku Klux Klan. Aryan Nation. Skinheads. Posse Comitatus. The gay movement. Lesbian movement. Spies. Workers of witchcraft. NASA space programs. Army. Navy. Air Force. Marines. Wall Street. Open up the internet. And the airways. Cable access channel. And the radio channels. Convict the spirit. Of any of thy people. And seek to stop us. And bring swift death. To all the heathen. And stand in the way. Or try to stop us. From broadcasting your words. Throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the terrorists. Cause them to go to and fro. Through the earth. And destroy. Cause the terrorists. Come against America. And destroy them in their strongholds. Let America shake at the hands of the terrorists. Let Yahushua. Michael. And Gabriel. Come down with the flying saucers. And kill all the heathen. That come up against us. As we speak thy word. Cause to be known. By all. That is the angels that have done it. Cause to be spread. Through the media. Throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you always. So be it. Men of Israel, Kabbalah Shabbat, Amajah, Barak, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakatah. Yazbatah, courtesy salute to the sisters. Amajah Shabbat, Amajah, Barak, Yahweh Shemar Al-Thar Ba'Shem Yahushua. Batah, class dismissed.
Somebody had a question, said, who's Esau?
Oh, you want to rock? You want to keep rocking more?
Shoot, yeah, go if you want to.
Esau is the white man.
So for some reason, a lot more people watching right now. Yeah, you can break it down to him.
Go to Genesis, the 25th chapter. You don't want to listen to people that tell you that Esau is the Arab man. You know, they want you to think that Esau is the Arab man for the simple fact that the white man can't control the oil over there. Just like I was bringing out, you know, with our war in the Middle East.
All right.
You know, the reason why that they're, you know, they can't destroy them as easily, you know, like that. They've been warring for all of these years because the white man wants them resources over there so that he can, you know, so that the Rockefellers and all of them can control all the oil.
All right.
So now, of course, they're going to tell you Esau is the Arabs because they know more people's reading the Bible now than what has ever been reading the Bible in the history since it's been a country.
All right.
More people are reading the Bible right now than has ever been in a time that this has been a country, you know, since America's even been here.
Right.
Because of the black Hebrew Israelites.
Right.
And that's what got people reading the Bible. So now what do they got to do? They got to try and counteract what's being taught because we know who Esau is. So how do they, you didn't hear who Esau was 30 years ago. Nobody cared. Who cared 30 years ago who Esau was?
Right.
No one. Esau back then was just a man. Just a man who was just like they made it like a children's story.
Right.
You know. What we're going to do is we're going to go into Genesis, the 25th chapter. Yeah, we got an encore going on.
Mark.
That's right. Genesis 5, and we'll start at about verse 20.
Right.
Genesis chapter 25 and 20. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, meaning she could not have children.
Right.
All right. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived, means the Lord listened to him, and the Lord, you know, went ahead and, you know, did that thing and made it to where she can have a child. And the children struggled together within her. The children were inside of her fighting.
Right.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. Now we know what a nation is. When it said 2 nations are in our womb, it didn't mean 2 countries were inside her womb, because nation is determined by bloodline. And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red. What makes a person turn red? What makes a person red? Being the fact that their blood shows through the skin. You can see the blood on the inside of their skin.
Like a redneck.
Right, a red neck. You know, that's, you know, somebody, white person get a sunburn. The blood rises up, you know, because there's, you know, a blister there.
Right.
You know, and it turns red. They out in the sun too long. You know, they on construction jobs. What color do they turn? Because they're in the sun all day. They turn red. What happens with us is we get darker. You know, based on how much, you know, melanin and pigment you got in your skin is how your skin responds. White people burn because when the cells come together for your melanin and your pigment and all of that, they don't have much of it. So it starts to fail. And that results in sunburns. We don't get sunburns like that. Because what happens is with the cells and our pigment come together, you know, what happens to us as a result, we'll get darker instead of burning.
He put in scripture, he said, likewise, when all the Jews that were in Moab among the Ammonites and in Edom, and that were in all the countries, heard the king of Babylon, left a remnant of Judah, blah, blah. Even all the Jews returned out of places where they were driven, came to the land of Judah. He said, oh, what does that verse mean then?
What does this verse mean?
This verse he put, Jeremiah 40:11. It says, likewise, when all the Jews that were in Moab and among the Ammonites and in Edom, and that were in all the countries. He said, what does that verse mean then?
Okay, we're among Edom right now. We're among Edom right now as we speak. So, I mean, what is he? I don't understand what point he's trying to make with that.
Right.
We're among Edom right now. And guess what? We're among Moab. You know, we're among, you know, all the same people that he just listed today. But who are we still?
Right.
We still the Israelites. Moab's still Moab. You know, Edom is still Edom. You know, I really don't understand what point he's trying to make with that.
Somebody said, almost every black have mixed blood, but black genes are stronger. Y'all need to study more about DNA.
Okay, really? Can you show me DNA in the Bible then? What scripture is DNA? What scripture is DNA?
Right.
Because what we do, we go by the scriptures. You know, and then as far as with having this type of blood in you and all of that, you know, that doesn't mean anything. Whatever the seed is what the child is. Let me give you an example. You got Florida oranges, right? Just because, you know, I mean, does it change it? And just because you also, let's say, for instance, if you got oranges in Georgia, it doesn't make it a peach just because it's in Georgia. You see what I'm saying? If there's no mix, whatever the seed is what the child is. Whatever the seed of any plant or whatever the seed of any fruit is that. It's nothing else. Now, it might look different. You got green apples out there. But because an apple is green does not make it a pear.
Right.
Those are two different seeds. A pear seed and an apple seed.
Right.
So when it comes to mixed blood and all of that, there's no such thing as that. You are what your father is. Whatever your father is what you are. Whatever the seed is, regardless of what you come out looking like. Because we always talk about, you know, what we do, we actually go on the little slave stuff, you know, 1/8. Got 1/8 black blood in you, you're black. And all saying all type of stupid stuff like that, you know. So now we say, well, you know, blacks have all of this blood. They love confusion. Those people love confusion because secretly what they want to do is they want to make white people. They want to incorporate white people. That's all it is. It's all love of white people.
Right. And it's funny because this argument never happened when it's something racist. They never say, oh, that's a mixed person.
Right.
That ain't a black person.
Right.
That's a mix. They're doing it to white people too, because that's a mixed black person.
Right. Right.
They'll never say that. When something racist happens to you, you don't say, oh, well, I do got some white blood in me, so it ain't racist.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Because really, I'm a little bit white too. So it's really just a white person doing it to another half white person.
Right. Right.
I never say that.
Right. That whole concept of white blood is only meant to confuse us. It doesn't confuse them. And what it does for white people is it causes them to take their drop shot seeds and push it among us. You know, that's why we always talk about this mixed blood stuff. When white people do it, they talk about it in a standpoint to dominate. They'll say, you ask a white person, you know, are you white? They'll say, well, I'm part this, I'm part Italian, I'm part German, I'm part Irish, I'm part. They told you they were white 5 times. Right. You know what I'm saying? They told you they were white 5 times. They're a white person, straight up. Any more questions, sir?
Nope. Oh yeah. Somebody put. The dude put Genesis 28 and 8 and 9. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went Esau unto Ishmael and took the wives which he had, Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebojoth, to be his wife.
Now, those are good scriptures right there. Now, that means he took an Ishmaelite woman to marry, and he took Canaanite women to marry. Did they make them Ishmael and Canaan? Esau's seed was based, you know, all the dukes of Edom actually come from, you know, Canaanite and Ishmaelite women. So what were they? What was their racial identity?
Why aren't they the dukes of Ishmael and the dukes of Canaan?
Right.
Why are they still the dukes of Edom?
Right. Eliphaz's mother was
Temanite, I think.
Yeah, I think she was a Hittite.
Oh, okay.
I think she was a Hittite. Okay. So we can go into that. Matter of fact, I'd like to go into that right quick, though. Just to keep everything, you know, making sure we, you know, on point.
Good.
Genesis chapter 36 and verse 1. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Aholibah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite, and Bashemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister to Nebaioth. And Adah bare to Esau Eliphaz. That was the beginning of the strength of Esau right there. Not the strength of Canaan or the Hittite or any of that. Just because he took that woman, the woman is she incubates the seed and produces the agenda. What the man is, what the child is. He became the very first strength of Esau, of the nation of Edom. Now we're going to go again. And Bashemath bare Reuel, and Aholibah bare Jeush and Jalem and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, which were born unto him in the land of Canaan. And Esau took his wives and his sons and his daughters, and all the persons of his house, and his cattle, and all his beasts, and all his substance, which he had gotten in the land of Canaan, and went into the country on the face of his brother Jacob. Means they were his possessions. If that's the case, why wasn't they the possessions of Canaan? Why wouldn't they possess the possessions of the Hittites? Why did Esau take everything that pertained to him? Because that was his seed. Those are his wives, his children, his seed, his characteristics.
Somebody else said something new. He said, why do you perpetuate that Edomites are white people, when clearly it is these people calling themselves Jews, Ashkenazi, Sephardic? White people are Japheth.
Let me ask you a question. Are Jewish people Caucasian?
Right.
Jewish people are Caucasians. Jewish people are Caucasians just like the other white people that you just named. You know, you have Edom and then you have Amalek, as you see when you go into the scriptures. They were broken almost into 2 different nations, just like we had the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. Well, they were broken up because Amalek, was actually the child of a concubine. He was the child of Timnah, the concubine. He will start to be separate from there. That's the Jewish people. They're still the seed of Esau.
He said, no, they aren't.
Oh, really? So can he, what is their origin in the Caucasus Mountains?
Right.
If their origin was in the Caucasus Mountains, you're a Caucasian. That was one family that was there, and that's the nation of Edom, which used to be Mount Seir.
Right.
Now, what does Jewish architecture look like? The Jewish man. Now think about it. And one of the most, what they call the most powerful families, little secret clubs or whatever, it's called Club Rome. Why is it filled up with Jewish men?
Right.
If they're not the same as if they're not Edom.
Right.
It's the same deal. There's two stocks of the same race of people. And he's going on the fact that how, regular Esau hates the Jewish man. Well, he hates the Jewish man because the Jewish man, is monopolizing every damn thing. Right. And he's a better thief. And he embodies the serpent from the Garden of Eden even more than they do. That's why they hate him. He's able to because Amalek out devils the devil. What I'm saying?
And somebody else said, Esau's seed is not that strong. In that case, you might be Esau's seed.
Okay. Now, if his seed is not that strong, then why the hell is there so many of them here? Think about it. Why were they Greece and Rome? Think about that for a second. Why were they Greco-Roman society and dominating the earth if their seed doesn't have any strength to it? Don't they come from Isaac? Aren't they technically the seed of Abraham too?
Somebody said, so who are the Gentiles?
Okay, what Gentiles is he talking about? Because you got different types of Gentiles.
He said, if Esau is the white man, so who are the Gentiles if Esau is man?
Well, hell, you got Gentiles of every, Gentile, you got two different definitions of Gentiles. You got the Gentiles that were, that were our people, but were not keeping the laws, that was into Rome and all of that. You got that kind of Gentiles, but then you also have the heathen Gentiles, which are other nations. It has Gentile has two different meanings.
And somebody said, Jews have been mixing with Japhet since the time of the Medo-Persian Empire.
Well, here's the thing with that. What he doesn't understand, he run around thinking that white people are Japhet. White people did the same damn thing that they did. They did the same thing in Europe as they did over here in the Americas.
Right.
Does that make them the native Indians just because they conquered America? Does that make them the natural born people of this land? The white man did that all over the world.
Right. And then somebody he's trying to cause, he said, everyone who is not Israelite is a Gentile.
And that's true. But at the same time, like I said before, there's two different definitions of Gentile. You have the Gentiles that were, the Gentiles that were in all the different, lands spread out through Europe and all of that were no longer keeping the customs of the Lord. And they were melted in with the society just along with everybody else. Like, say, for instance, now let me give you a sign of that. You have the fake Israelite groups that teach that only blacks are the Israelites. So what do they call the Hispanics? Even though they know that they were slaves just like us, the Hispanics in Brazil and Cuba and stuff like that, they called them Gentiles. Well, you had a similar thing going on back then.
Right. He said Europeans were taught by Esau to conquer.
Europeans are Esau. And what he don't understand is there's no nation, or there was no man named Europe that had the Europeans.
Right.
Europe was actually named. Europe was never even called Europe at that time. It was actually called the land of Japheth. But what it is, when the white man took it over, the white man worshipped the Greek god Europa.
Right.
That's why they called the continent Europe. So how do you say they are the same goddamn people? They're the same people.
Right.
You know, Esau's children is named after him. You mean to tell me technically, you know, I mean, there was a man named Europa, and he made the rest of white people. You know, while Esau had his portion of white people. That, you know, that didn't happen like that.
Right.
With the same characteristics and spirit and everything too.
Somebody put, show me the scriptures of the two different Gentiles. And I got that scripture for you. It's in Corinthians. Go to Corinthians. It said, you were Gentiles in your lusts.
2 Corinthians, sir.
Let me see. I believe it's 1 Corinthians. Yes, sir. What's that? Sorry. Probably G. Should have been G. I don't need to add that.
You might want to try Google and Cal.
Yeah, I Google real quick. You go ahead, keep teaching though.
Pull it up. Like I was saying, there's two different kinds of Gentiles that's talked about in the Bible. You know, like I said, you know, you have the ones that are actually heathens, that are actually other nations, and you have the ones that of us that were separated from the nation. Right? For whatever reason, they were separated. They were called Gentiles also. You see what I'm saying? So when the scriptures talk about gathering, you know, going and getting the Gentiles, it's talking about, you know, like I was saying, it's the same, you know, the same thing as how fake Israelite groups think that only blacks, you know, are the Jews.
Right.
And they call Mexicans and even, you know, Cubans and Puerto Ricans, knowing good and well that those people went into slavery right along the same time we was going into slavery, and all the slavery revolts triggered to all of us. We was all communicating with each other.
1 Corinthians 12 and 2.
1 Corinthians 12 and 2. You want me to start at verse 1, sir?
You could if you want. It's really verse 2 is the main spot though.
1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I will not have you ignorant. Ye know that ye were Gentiles.
Right.
Now, he said brethren. You know what I'm saying? It means these were the people, you know, according to his flesh. Said ye were Gentiles. The Apostle Paul, he had been raised in the Jew. What did he say? He said, I served the Most High through my father, from my father's loins.
Right.
Before he was born, because his father served the Lord. His father's father served the Lord. His father's father's father served the Lord. He was brought up as a Pharisee. That's why he obtained such a high position before he converted, you know what I'm saying, and to Christ. So he was not a Gentile. But the people who did not, you know, that were pretty much kind of like cast away and ostracized, you know, from, you know, from us, these people were considered Gentiles. These people that were running around, you know, in Gentile ways, wearing Roman clothes, doing all of that. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I will not have you ignorant. Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols. Now, if it said you was carried away from something, right? Regular heathens were not carried away from anything. They always worshiped idols. They weren't carried away from it. You know what I'm saying? Were carried away by it, rather. If you were carried away by something, that means you had to be with something good at first, right?
Right.
You know, so it's saying here, you know that ye were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols as ye were led. Where was this at? This is in Corinth. What was Corinth? Corinth was a part of Rome, the Roman Empire. You know, these are the descendants of the scattered. Wherefore I give you to understanding that no man speaketh by the Spirit of God calleth Jesus accursed. Well, now, as we mentioned into this, does the brother get this?
He didn't say nothing. He hasn't said nothing back yet.
All right.
He's probably cut trying to find the scripture.
That's cool. We'll get that one too. And
you can probably go to James 1. Oh, I got a good one. Acts 2 or 22 and 1. Let me get it for you. Acts is another good one. This is a real good one. I want to bring out a lot. Acts 21 and 20.
Acts 21 and 20.
Acts 21 and 20 is another good one for this topic.
Acts chapter 21 and verse 20. And when they heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law.
Right.
And they are informed of thee, that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses.
Oh, so like if you want to start at verse 19, probably.
Oh, cut.
Start at verse 19.
Verse 19. And when he had saluted them, he declared particularly what things God had wrought among the Gentiles by his ministry.
Because they always want to say Paul's ministry was to the Gentiles.
Right.
He was to the Gentiles.
Right.
Yeah, well, this is what it means. When he came back from teaching all the Gentiles, this is what he said.
And when they heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law.
So he went his Gentile ministry. When he come back, he said all these thousands of Jews, but they're calling his ministry a Gentile ministry. But he's saying there's Jews because the Jews were among the Gentiles, living like Gentiles, all type of nonsense.
And it's the same thing that's going on here.
Right.
What are we among the Gentiles? Gentrified neighborhoods. You know, that's what's going on downtown of any major city you could think of. What are we? Jews among the Gentiles.
And he put one super long scripture, Galatians 3, verse 7, all the way through 11, which probably just ignore that one because, you know, they try to just throw a big scripture, like 10 scriptures, like, hey, like they making a point. Somebody else said Caucasians are about 70% of the U.S. population and 10% of the world population. So they can't be called small among the people. This is not difficult. First of all, if I could, how the hell you know what's their percentage of the whole people in the whole goddamn world? Right. And it sure as hell ain't no 70%. Right. Because you got over 1 billion damn Chinese people and 1 billion damn Hamites in Africa and another 1 billion or so in India. Right. So it's damn near not 70% because that's 3 billion right there, 3 to 4 billion, and it's supposed to be only 7 billion people on the earth. Right. So there sure as hell ain't no 70% of all the population.
Yeah, I think he might have been saying just 70% of the U.S. population. I think.
Oh, he does say that. 70% of the U.S. population and 10% of the world population.
Okay, well, if that's the case, I mean, hell, look how many ethnic groups you got up on the face of the planet. I mean, you know, look how many nations you got up on the face of the planet. You know, I mean, 10% is kind of a large number. You know what I'm saying? You know, 10% is, 1/10 of 100. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to look at how many other, nations of people you got on the earth. You got the Caucasians. You got the Asians, which make up a, large portion of the earth. And you got, Africans, and you got, Arabs,
he got one more comment. He said, "It is the Caucasian Japheth kings and queens will be our nursing mothers and nursing fathers. There are no Jewish kings and queens."
Okay, one thing. I don't see no prophecies in the Bible where they said Japheth would enslave us and treat us the way, you know what I'm saying? I don't see no hardcore judgments against Japheth like that. See, They go on that. You know what? They love white people so much. They want to go back to Genesis. To Genesis when it says when it talks about Japheth to dwell in the tents of Shem.
Right.
And they use that so they can have mixed congregation churches.
Right.
That's what and have and call have spiritual Israelites and all of that garbage because they hate the whole idea of separating. And that's the reason why Dylan Storm Roof will go into a black church and blow away 9 people.
Right.
I don't see how they can't see that, that, and then you think about it too. I mean, come on now. Japheth was a whole, think about it. Noah only had 3 sons.
Right.
7 nations, 7 huge nations came out of Japheth.
All right.
Now he pretty much trying to put it like white people make up such a small percentage of people on the earth. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that math's really not adding up. They conquered over Europe just like every damn thing else. And what did they do? They killed the people. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. They kill the people and they take the place over. That's what they do. They kill them and take their place. That's right. Just like they did with the Native Indians. I guess they're the Cherokees now. And the Blackfoot. And the Sioux. You know what I'm saying? Just like they hijacked those identities, they did the same goddamn thing in Europe. They hijacked the identity of Japheth after conquering over him and taking him over.
Right. And then you go to 2nd Ezra 6:9, where it said Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Who's ruling the world now?
Right. I want him to break that scripture down. If he could. If he could give it a shot. Matter of fact, I want to go into it in here. I want to hit it in the pocket for myself.
Right.
I want to see somebody explain that. I want somebody to break that down.
Then it says Esau shall exalt himself as the eagle.
Right.
That's the Rome, Greece, Russia, America, all got eagle symbols.
What's the characteristics of the eagle? Because for one thing, Japheth never flew.
Right.
Japheth never flew. So how the hell is, what I'm saying, the white man Japheth when the eagle is put together with Esau? Was Japheth flying? No. It didn't say that the eagle would be a symbol of Japheth. It said the eagle would be a symbol of Esau. Then they give you signs, you know what I'm saying? Japheth never had you know what? Japheth was the least nation to ever even come against the children of Israel.
Right.
Out of all the, you know what I'm saying, you hear everything from Ham, Shem, other children of Shem and all of that, but you don't really ever hear of wars, hardcore wars that was fought between us and Japheth. Or where Japheth did the evil, atrocious stuff to us.
Right.
That's what the white man did.
It says, he said, the New Testament is a lie. Some other dude said, who has all the oil fields? And then somebody said, Esau hides behind Japheth. And then somebody said, and where are the richest countries? They pretty much didn't confuse themselves now. Yeah. They don't even have a good argument no more.
Right. He said, who has all the oil fields? He's saying Japheth has all the oil fields? What prophecy is that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The Arabs have the oil fields. They have the most oil. So he's saying who all have the oil fields is him. He's trying to say Japheth has all the oil fields.
Right.
But Ishmael got them. And then I guess it's Japheth down in Venezuela too. I guess that's Japheth too, huh?
Right. You already read it, 2nd Ezra 6 and 9?
I haven't read it yet. So.
Probably could end it on that one. or hit him with that one. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9.
2nd Ezra. You think I should go up a little bit before that, just to drill it, just to drill it, in, the nail in the coffin?
Yeah, you could, because he's saying Japheth was prophesied to have the most land.
Where is that prophecy at?
Right.
I don't understand where where are people getting this stuff at? What book are these? And now they're just going all, they can't even give you. He needs to give a reference then. If you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
He needs to give a reference of what he's talking about. All right, we're gonna go to 2nd Ezra, and I'm gonna start at verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Because what is he asking? He's really asking right here. What Ezra is really asking is when the time that Christ is going to come and rule, which will be apart from the time before it, his rulership. That's what he's asking right here. Or when shall the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And when he says first, he's not talking about the very first empire to ever rule. He's not talking about that. He's talking about the very first in the last days, because Ezra was a prophet that's seen a lot of things into the last days. So he's going from the time that we're actually living in, because he's able to see these things. The Most High, allowed Ezra to see a lot of things into the future. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, what's he doing? He goes shot to the past. And then he's bringing it, he's going right from the past into the future and just revealing things to him, When Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau.
Right.
For Esau is the end of the world. What are white people talking about today? The end of the world. It's the end of the world. Who's talking that? It's not Japheth talking that. The end of the world. That's what white people are talking about. And they're so afraid of it. Because why are they so afraid of the end of the world? They don't believe that the world is going to blow up. They believe that it will be the end of the rule of the white man, because they know these prophecies. They know a few of these scriptures and these prophecies that is against them. That's how they was able to find America.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's through these prophecies. And actually, from the prophet Ezra.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how they was able to find the Americas in the first place. Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. This is why white people are so afraid of the end of the world. You don't hear Chinese people saying it.
Right.
You don't hear Koreans. You don't hear Arabs. No Africans, and none of them. The end of the world. The end of the world. You don't hear that. None of that from them. You hear this from white people, and you've been hearing it from white people your whole life.
Right.
You've been hearing about the end of the world from white people your whole life. You know why? Because they're scared of what's going to come.
Right.
Because they know in the end of that world, they're going to be judged, not as Japheth,
right,
but as Esau, who they really are. What people don't understand, people on the earth are generally brown. The white man on the earth is the only man up on the face of the planet that is different. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The white man is the only man on the face of the planet that is actually different. Now, as a matter of fact, I can even give proof to that in the book of Daniel. Because then he would do something that would be, that he would be able to hide himself through.
Right.
For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The hand of man is between the heel and the hand. That's what it's saying. It said he's gonna be the end of the world. Now, to even just beat this battle in the powder. The scripture in Daniel, I ain't been over this scripture in a while. But when it said he will mingle himself with the seed of men.
Look it up. In the Old Testament, is that?
Cover the book of Daniel.
And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, and they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. That's Daniel 2:43.
When they will mingle themselves with the seed of men, they will mingle themselves with everybody. They will be in everybody's land. They will produce children that will look, hell, even Arabs, a lot of Arabs look somewhat like them, but are still Ishmael, a lot of Arabs, and that's the way that they do, that's the way that one of the ways that they fight, by making other people's children look somewhat like to them. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the ways that they fight. That's one of the ways that the white man hides himself. But now if you take that all away, he's going to stick out like a sore thumb, just like Cain did. Just like Cain did before the flood. Cain stuck out like a sore thumb because the Lord put a mark upon Cain. You would see Cain and you would know, oh, wait a minute, this man is different. We can't carry out the judgment upon this man like we really want to. You know what I'm saying? Even though he did all of this stuff, he has a mark upon him that we can't do what we really want to do. That's what the white man had, the way that he hides himself, because he knows that his judgment is coming and he's going to be a fugitive on the earth. What does he have to do? He has to mingle himself with the seed of men. So to cause more confusion. What do they do with black people? Ain't there celebrities that we see and we think that they're black and they're actually really white people?
Right.
Bob Marley. We thought Bob Marley was a black man. We thought Bob Marley was a token, like he was a black leader.
Right.
But Bob Marley come out to be a white man. You know why? Because he mingled himself with the seed of men. And when it talks about mingling himself with the seed of men, every man and every race in the Bible is spoken of as one man per race. The Ishmaelites are Ishmael. The Moabites are Moab. The Hivites are the children of Hivi.
Right.
So on and so forth.
And I got a good scripture on what's going to end up happening to Esau too. Just go to hit Ezekiel 25. I can read it for you. Ezekiel 25:12. Thus saith the Lord God, the Most High Power, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them.
Right.
Now, that's talking who has done the worst to the house of Judah, which is blacks.
Right.
It's no other race except the white man.
Right.
It's got to be Edom. This guy, he's white man, got to be Esau. Edom.
But when did he get full revenge? When did he start to get full revenge? Slavery.
Right.
That's when he started. He was never able to do this to us before. Before this, he was never able to do this to us. You had other nations that he helped, to do things like this to us, to this magnitude. But this is the time, think about it. The slave trade is the most horrific thing on the face of the planet. And how do they counteract that? How do they try and counteract that? They're trying to counteract that with the Holocaust.
Right.
And that's the Jewish man. So you mean to tell me, you know, that is Japheth doing that? No, it's not Japheth. It's Esau. Or they say that the Jewish man is Esau, right? That's what they say.
No, they've been saying multiple things. First, it was the white man is Japheth. Now, Amalek is Japheth because he's Ashkenazi and Sephardic.
Right.
So they're just trying to get it off the white man, basically.
Right, exactly. Just because you're in the land of Ashkenaz, which is Germany, that doesn't make you an Ashkenazi. So if you mean to tell me if you was in Germany, you would be an Ashkenaz yourself? No, you just be a black man in Germany.
Right.
That's what you'll be. The white man went there, the Jewish man went there, and he just labeled him. He clothed himself with their identity, which he does all over the earth. If the white man could get away with it, he'd be the Japanese. He done already did it to the Indians, and then kicked them out of their tribe. Now he's the Cherokee.
All right, he pulled the scripture of so-called saying how Japheth is gonna have all the land or something. I don't know. He says, here's how Esau knew Japheth would have a lot of control of land. The scripture, God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And this is how you know this is not right now.
Right.
Because if Japheth have all this land, but he's still in the tents of Shem, that means Shem got to have it all.
Right.
And right now, Shem does not have it all.
Right. And also, too, what he's also insinuating, he's saying that, and Canaan shall be his servant. He's pretty much saying that he's really trying to say that we're the Canaanites. That's what he's really trying to say, because he's saying, if he says the white man is Japheth, who's been the slaves of the white man? Us. You see what I'm saying? So that's what the thing about these fake Israelite groups, they're really trying to say that a small portion of us is actually Israel, and the rest that went on the slave ship was Ham. That's what they're really trying to say for real. They just can't come out with it right now, but that's what they're going to be trying to say in the future. Watch for it. They're going to be trying to say that. They're going to say the majority of the people that was loaded on the slave ships was Ham, and it was just a small portion of Israelites. And what they're going to do, they're going to say these things and line themselves with the Jewish man, just like they did at first. You know what I'm saying? Just like, during the time of Abba Bivens, when you had the other group that wanted to run around with yarmulkes and all that and built the yeshivas and all of that for the Jewish man.
All right.
They're trying to bring us back to something like that, so that we be the servants and slaves of white Jewish men.
Man, I got a real good scripture for it too that prove that the white man is Esau. Right here, Psalms 137. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept and we remembered Zion. So this is the Israelites remembering Zion in Babylon. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song. What is black people famous for in America? Singing songs. Because this is the daughter of Babylon.
Right.
We're famous for singing here. And they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion.
Right.
Where's the most famous singing that people want to be heard here in America by black people singing?
Right.
Whitney Houston,
Babylon.
Ray Charles, it could just go on and on. Shoot, the new dude that did the country song. Everybody loves that country song.
Right.
Every kid in the country singing that country song.
Right.
That's us. And it says, when you go down, it says, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
Oh, man. So what is that? What are they trying to say when they say raise it to the foundation thereof? Means destroy it and make it look like it never was the glorious land. And that's what they've done today. Right.
And you look up the history, who destroyed Jerusalem?
Right.
It was the Romans. Under General Vespasian and General Titus and them. And it's in that book, the Josephus.
Right.
The complete works of Josephus in 70 AD. They said, raise it. It says, "O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed."
The daughter of Babylon. It ain't talking about the ancient Babylon.
Right.
Which, when it talks about the daughter is something that's begotten, of the mother. The daughter of Babylon is this Babylon here today. And Revelations also proves that too.
God.
You know what I'm saying? Remember when they talk about the fine linen, they should sell no more, the fine linens and all of that?
Said all the merchants around the world would cry and weep when she's destroyed because they used to get rich off of her.
Right.
As they're not off of nobody but the white man.
Right.
Here in America, the richest country in the world.
Exactly. And this country feeds every other country.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This country, and then when it was like we're talking about more the fine linens and all of that.
Right.
And Cap, this, the
New York is the fabric capital, textile capital of the world.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
right.
It's just
no brainer.
Right.
You go to New York, you go inside one of them skyscraper buildings, you just think it's a regular building. It'll be a whole block of fabrics. Like a library got books, it'll be a whole bunch of desks like that. Instead of books in the desk, it'll be a whole bunch of fabrics.
Right.
As far as you can go down.
Right.
More than you can even really count in a lifetime.
And also, too, America is also the chief distribution point of the earth of anything.
Right.
Any and everything. That's the reason why when you riding, and you go towards the coast, you see so many of them cargo boats. You know what I'm saying? They're everywhere.
And if I could, it goes more. It says, "Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us."
How did they serve us?
It's about to say it. "Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones." Who was our children were the ones dashed against the stones, fed to alligators. When you look up the Trail of Tears, they took the Native Indians' children, the babies that was slowing down the caravan, and smashed them against the stones.
Right. And they was cutting the children out of black women's bellies and smacking them up against stones also.
Right. And playing soccer with them.
Right. Yeah. Playing soccer with the heads.
Right. Or I think they would bury the baby and then kick the head off.
Right.
So that's only one race. That ain't no other race it's talking about. This Edom right here, where the Lord said, remember, is the white race, is the Caucasian race. To remember Edom, because we are strangers in their land and we are held captive here. And the scripture said, how can we sing our song here, even though they want us to sing? They always want a black person singing the Super Bowl. They want a Cardi B in the Super Bowl. Why ain't they want no Japheth? Why ain't Japheth in the Super Bowl? No, they wanted the Israelites to sing that song in the strange land. And then what happened? She turned them down because she said, all this police killing got to stop. So I'm not going to sing in the Super Bowl. Just like the scripture said, verse 4, how shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land?
There you go.
If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. Even Cardi B, a woman in the world, had the same spirit. And that's Israel's spirit. That we can't sing our song in this land when and we getting destroyed.
Right. And think about it. They ain't talking about no damn Japheth either.
Right.
It mentions Edom in that same scripture too, though, right?
Yeah, it says, it says, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom.
Children of Edom.
Right.
That's who's doing it.
Right. And I think from there we can close it out. We'd have made the strong point. And anybody who watches playback and checks out the scriptures that we pulled out, is no question that the white man is Edom.
Right.
And there's a lot more we can go to, but this just enough is enough for right now. We can get more and more later. Right. But there's no doubt in anybody's mind that looks at these scriptures and watch and listen to this breakdown that the white man is not Edom. The white man is Edom.
I just like to beat my opponents in the baby food.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when they come back, they can't even come back with the strength no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
It says, he said, the psalm is talking about the old Babylon during the 70-year captivity. Wow, how do you not know that? Well, we just proved that it wasn't when it said the daughter of Babylon.
Right, and at the same time, it's talking about that. Now think about it. That song was written by King David. King
Right.
David lived long before the Babylonian captivity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was prophesying, because see, what people don't understand, prophecies go 2 or 3-fold. 2,
Right.
3, 4-fold. You know, they just don't go for one little time and stuff like that. They go down, you know what I'm saying? Just like when it said, you know, when it talks about the curses, you know, we didn't just go through them one time. You know what I'm saying?
And then he said, you all can't see that Esau added the daughter in Psalms 137 in the scripture to make you think this is today in the U.S.
What proof you got concerning that?
Right.
Because there was a Babylon before. And if he can't sit there and see that America has incorporated everything of ancient Babylon, this dude is blind to it, and he just loves America.
Right.
That's all it is. He loves America. He loves white people. He probably got a white woman, you know, and he don't want to believe that his white woman is Esau with her hairy ass. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, he don't want to believe that.
Right.
You know? So he just, no, this is Japheth. This is Japheth. And she should dwell in the tents of Shem. See, she dwell in the tents of my bedroom.
Right. and then if that's talking about ancient Babylon, then what is Revelations talking about? What Babylon is in Revelations?
Yeah.
The great city, where it says she made all nations drink of, in Revelations 14:8. Babylon is fallen, it's fallen. That great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Doesn't America align itself with all nations, United Nations?
Right. And then it also says, too, that Christ is going to come back to do war with Babylon. Has Christ come back yet? Does Christ come back during the time of the ancient Babylon?
Right.
So that has to be talking about a future time.
Right. So there's obviously a Babylon after the Babylon captivity.
Right.
Which would make sense that the scriptures call it the daughter of Babylon.
Right.
Seeing how it's a second Babylon.
Right.
So it would make sense that it's not talking about the old Babylon.
Right.
Because there's plenty of scriptures in Revelations that say how Babylon is going to be destroyed and thrown down.
Right.
So that's not, by the time John the Revelator was writing Revelations, the old Babylon was been gone for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So why would he sit there? Any prophecy he's talking about is talking about a second Babylon, the daughter of Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said, I don't love America. You all are fools. Revelation is fiction. Christ never existed. While he's sitting there reading about the book of Christ, he's all like, well, you know what? The Bible is not real.
So I guess was he an Old Testament? Or?
He said King David did not write that. He only wrote the first 70 Psalms or whatever.
That sounds silly as hell.
Right.
Well,
he don't have no more proof of that.
Right.
So he ain't said nothing else. Like I said, we're gonna close it out.
Okay.
We're gonna have class tomorrow, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. You can tune in. It gets you. If you got your questions, bring some questions. Bring your scriptures this time, not just a whole bunch of he say, she say, and then try to say you're one of those. Well, the Bible's not real anyway. Once it gets cut down, and we have proved how America is Babylon, and that is the one that we spoke that's going to be of the daughter of Babylon, like in Psalms 137.
Right.
So it's already proven.
With that being said,
Shalom.
I love it, battles.
Oh yeah, that made it all worth it. All the bullshit we had to go through today.